Keynote speaker, Professor Viksit Bharat, Founding Director, Center for Cultural Media and Governance of Jamia Media Society, Exercise. Sir. I request everyone to go live on your behalf to the survey of the humanity. I request our chief guest, Vice Chancellor, sir, please. University to also come from the days and begin the program by what we were planned. I request our convener of the Fakir Mohan Madam, Head of the Department, to join in the guest and offer water to this divine plant. This is a gesture from all of us that we pledge to save our Mother Earth and we pledge to save our environment for a sustainable future. I request our guests, our dignitaries, all of them to kindly take your respective seats on the dais. We also have with us Professor Fakir Mohan. He is the Chairman Postgraduate Council of our university, is a guest of honor today, and request him as well, sir, kindly close the dais. It is now time for our university anthem. I request Ramachandra to kindly play the university anthem. We all should stand on our respective places for the anthem.
Viশ্ববিদ্যালয় জ্ঞান বিজ্ঞান বিপ্লব
saplings. I request everyone to give a huge round of applause. Thank you. I now request our Vice Chancellor Sir to give memento to our guest Professor Viswajit Das Sir, to felicitate him by providing him memento and uttariya. I now request our student partners to come on the stage with the Uttariya and memento, and I request VC sir to felicitate Professor Sanjeev Bhanavat sir, former professor and head, Center for Mass Communication, University of Rajasthan. Thank you, sir. I now request Hari Krishna to come on the stage with memento and uttariya, and I request our Vice Chancellor sir to felicitate Professor Anand Pradhan, Guest of Honor of the seminar, Digital Director, Institute of Mass Communication, Decolonizing. I now request our student Subhashri to come on the stage with uttariya and memento, and I request BC sir to felicitate Professor Pitavas Pradhan sir, Department of Mass Communication, Aligarh Muslim University. Thank you, sir. I now request Vice Chancellor sir to also felicitate on this occasion our Chairman Postgraduate Council, Professor Bhaskar Behra. Thank you so much, sir, for supporting us all the time and encouraging us to organize these seminars. I now request our student Hari Krishna to come on the stage with uttariya and memento. I request BC sir to felicitate our head of the department, Professor Bharti Wala Patnaik. I request all our guests, all our dignitaries to jointly felicitate our Vice Chancellor sir. I request all of them to jointly felicitate our most esteemed and supporting Vice Chancellor ever, who has always been with us, very wise and those who have been able to organize these.
I request BC sir to felicitate Dr. Smriti ma'am, co-convener of National Convener. Now I request Shiva Mahanti sir to come on stage for felicitation, and I request VC sir to felicitate.
Thank you so much, sir. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have you amongst us. I also request Vice Chancellor, sir, to felicitate Shri Ashok Pradhanji, who is Chief of Bureau for Times of India Bhubaneswar, by presenting him with the memento and Upgrade. कहते हैं ना, खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, जाने का कौन जिंदगी का हिस्सा बन जाता है। यूं तो कई लोग मिलते हैं सफर में जिनसे कभी ना बिछड़ने वाला रिश्ता बन जाता है। I hope this two-day national seminar brings us all together in this celebration, binds us for our entire life. And with this we move forward, and the media plays a crucial role in shaping Viksit Bharat, that's developed India, by spreading awareness, promoting government initiatives and encouraging citizen participation. It acts as a bridge, of course, between the government and the public, ensuring transparency and accountability. By highlighting, yes sir, जी 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 बिल्कुल सर। इससे पहले कि हम आगे बढ़े, और जैसा कि हमारे कुलपति जी ने कहा है, हम पहले सॉवेनियर जो है उसका विमोचन करेंगे। I request all our guests to kindly release the souvenir here amidst all of us. I request our volunteers, Hare Krishna, please bring the souvenir first, not the book, first the souvenir. Then we'll release the book. So, all of us will come together, we'll have this souvenir in our hands for On this beautiful occasion, we have another book. The book has been edited by Professor Sanjeev Manaval sir. He is my teacher as well, and I have got this privilege to work in this book along with him. Thank you, sir, for Thank you so much. This book is on digital dynamics, navigating challenges and how to seize the opportunities that's there before us. So with this, I request the head of the department, Professor Bharti Bharat Madam, who happens to be convener of this two-day ICSSR sponsored national seminar, to kindly come and deliver the welcome address and introduce our guests.
Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Fakir Mohan University. Respected keynote speaker, Professor Biswajit Das, Jamia Millia University. Guest of honor, Professor Sanjeev Banapursa. And respected Professor Anand Pradhan Sir, guest of honor, and PG Council Chairman, Fakir Mohan University, Professor Bhaskar Behera, and Professor Pitabas Pradhan from Aligarh Muslim University, and presented here the senior professors, associate professors, PG Council and assistant professor from other universities and our universities, and Professor Pitabas journalists, resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim University, our students. And present we have here organized the senior professor seminar, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat journalist at resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim India, our students. Economic and present we have here organized the senior professor, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from the challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat journalist at resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim India, our students. And present we have here organized the senior professor, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from the challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat journalist at resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim India, our students. And present we have here organized the senior professor, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from the challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat journalist at resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim India, our students. And present we have here organized the senior professor, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from the challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat journalist at resource scholars, Aligarh Muslim India, our students. And present we have here organized the senior professor, associate professor, PG Council and assistant professor from the challenges and our universities, and Professor Viksit Bharat
student. At the outset, on behalf of my university and on behalf, I welcome you all to this 2 days national seminar, Role of Media in Shaping Viksit Bharat. As we know, media is very popularly known as Jagrat Pohari and act as the bridge between the government as well as the public. So the duty of media is very important in the development of our society. The topic chosen by the organizing committee is very pertinent in the present day scenario. I hope the outcome of this seminar will be very helpful for the future researchers and the policymakers. I congratulate the organizing committee, the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, and I hope the outcome of this seminar very much fruitful for our students. I also thankful to the invited speaker and research person as the esteemed guest that they have accepted our invitation and kept over this seminar. And finally, I once again welcome to you to my small, beautiful and plastic-free university. Thank you, all of you. Very, very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, we are hoping for a fruitful discussion over the 2 days, and as you said, the outcome is more important. With this, I would now move forward with the agenda. Professor Pitavas Pradhan, renowned professor in the area of journalism and mass communication, with so many years of decades of experience and expertise in academics, with several books and research papers to his credit, who has travelled all over the country and has always supported us with his guidance, with his knowledge. We are so delighted, sir, to have you here. And once again, we offer a hearty welcome to you. And with this, I request you to kindly come and address the gathering. Sir.
सम्माननीय कुलपति प्रोफेसर संतोष कुमार त्रिपाठी सर, a well-known journalism educator, he has created a niche for himself in the field of media education and research. Professor Viksit Bharat, the former director of the Center for Culture, Media and Governance, Jamia Millia Islamia. Another well-known journalism academic, Professor Sanjeev Bharat. In fact, I am confident that the entire journalism fraternity knows him for his engagement throughout the country in any kind of program that the journalism fraternity organizes. We have with us Professor Anand Pradhan, भारतीय जनसंचार संस्थान का अंचलिक निर्देशक प्रोफेसर आनंद प्रधान. We have with us Professor Bhaskar Behera, the chairman of the Postgraduate Council. Convener of this conference, Professor Bharati Bala Patnaik, and co-convener Smriti Pai. Respected invitees, participants, faculty members of Fakir Mohan University, and dear students. This is a wonderful opportunity to be with a galaxy of journalism educators for this national conference on role of media in shaping Viksit Bharat. Actually, the topic itself is electrifying. When you think of a Viksit Bharat, it actually inspires us. The topic is a very important role in the life of the nation, that is India, that is aspiring to be a developed and self-reliant nation by 2047, when we shall be celebrating 100 years of Indian independence. But I have certain questions in mind. How close are we to the goal of becoming a Viksit and self-reliant India by 2047? How close are we? Is it really achievable? Yeah, we are in a state of dream. We are dreaming of becoming developed. I will try to address both these aspects. But so far, our leadership has passionately told the story of India being a developed and self-reliant nation by 2047. There is no doubt that the idea of Viksit Bharat has been passionately articulated by the leadership. It sounds that India is on an unstoppable rise to growth for a Viksit Bharat. It is argued that the enduring spirit, resilience of, resilience and, the fundamentals of the economy suggest that we are very much on the path of progress to achieve our cherished goal of becoming a developed nation by 2047. But in this regard, I would like to focus on 4-5 questions. I have actually, it engages me about the various aspects of the topic. The first question I often encounter is, what are the indicators of Indian economic development that suggest that yes, this dream is achievable? We can reach the goal of becoming a Viksit and a self-reliant nation by 2047. The second question I often consider is, what are the opportunities available? What are the opportunities available on the basis of which you can hope to become a Viksit Bharat? The third question is, what are the challenges we are likely to encounter? What are the challenges? And there comes the role of, that is, the media has a prominent role in addressing those challenges. Because development is not only economic gain. Only economic prosperity by attaining 8% or 8.5% of growth is not development to me. So it has to be supported with the social development and empowerment and cohesion. Otherwise, the economic development alone cannot transform us to a developed nation. Of course, we hope that some of the indicators of economic development will drift India from the fringe of developing countries to the inner circle of developed nations. We hope we will achieve that status by 2047. And some of the indicators that suggest that India is well on the path of development is, the first thing we are witnessing, in fact the media is bringing to us, is that we have reached a 5 trillion economy, and in the next, that is by the time we reach 2047, India will become a 55 trillion economy. If an economic growth rate of 8% or more is maintained, that is what is being forwarded by our leadership. Okay. The second important indicator of development is that we have developed 66 lakh a network of 66 lakh kilometers of highways, comprising 1,46,000 of national highways. That is the second parameter that is presented to support that yes, India is on its path of growth. The third important factor that is presented is, the achievements of digital India. We have substantially gained on digitalizing the economy. There is no doubt about that. 16.73 billion UPI transactions have added about 23.25 trillion to the asset. This is another, the third most important development being presented to support India's development, and the opportunities are many. But there are challenges as well. I can add to these opportunities, and the very important opportunity for India is that we are one of the biggest nations in terms of the manpower, that is human resource. If we successfully turn our huge manpower into human resource to utilize the potential for the development of the nation, then no force can stop India from becoming developed. And second important opportunity for us is that a major part of the Indian population, young population, because India is known as a young population country. About 50% of Indian population are below 25 years of age. And about 65% of Indian population is below 35 years of age. That is what makes India younger in spirit. If that spirit is maintained, if Indian technocrats, if Indian youth are provided proper skills, then they can take the country forward. That will be another asset for India's growth as a developed in a self-reliant nation. But there are challenges as well. Unless and until the challenges, among the challenges to me, the important challenges that the country faces are, the skill gap. All of you know that Microsoft has declared that they will invest billions of rupees during the next 2 years of building cloud and AI infrastructure. That is training 10 million people in AI and cloud technology. But there must be takers. If we prepare our people to take that task, take that skill gap, then only we can hope to progress the country forward. If majority of the people are unskilled, the AI revolution is going to replace a huge amount of the jobs. Only it will create a limited number of high-tech and high-paid jobs that will further widen the gap between the rich and the poor. The well-to-do, that is the well-earned, and the marginal earners. That is the challenge for the country to prepare. And here the media has a very vital role to play. What it can play. Of course, we are debating this issue since independence. Soon after independence, the question, that is the issue of what should be the role of the media in a democracy started. And the very first issue after independence, the Times of India wrote. The role of the media is to act as an effective opposition outside the parliament, and fulfilling that responsibility with a circumspection. That was the statement of the Times of India. Similarly, the Hindu wrote, the media has a responsibility, dual responsibility. On one hand, it is the government, and the other, it is the people of the country. So they have to negotiate. They have to develop that agenda for development by promoting discourses between the rulers, between the government and the people. But I'm concluding. I would like to thank the organizers, the faculty members of the department, for giving me this opportunity to be the galaxy of media education.
Media Reporting. Currently serving as a resident editor of New Indian Express Bhubaneswar, Mr. Mohanty has demonstrated unwavering commitment to journalistic integrity and public service. An alumna of Ravenshaw University with a postgraduate degree in economics and a graduate of the prestigious Indian Institute of Mass Communication 9798 batch, Mr. Mohanty began his remarkable journey with the Indian Express newspaper in 1998. His brief tenure at the Asian Age in Delhi further enriched his professional experience before he returned to serve his home state of Odisha. Throughout his career, Mr. Mohanty has distinguished himself through his fearless coverage of critical issues including environmental conservation, wildlife protection, political developments, and law enforcement challenges. It is our privilege and honor to have you here, Mr. Sir, and our Vice Chancellor, Sir, we request him to felicitate Sir by presenting the citation. Yes, sir. Or, what is there? Just a brief and then we'll give up. Yes, sir. So on this occasion, I request Siva Mohanty, sir, to kindly count on the days. His extensive reporting from Odisha's forest and structural coverage of major events, including the devastating 1999 cyclone and left-wing extremism, has brought crucial issues to the forefront of public consciousness. Mr. Mohanty's passionate advocacy for wildlife conservation, his dedication to highlighting environmental concerns have made him not just a journalist, but a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. His work continues to inspire the next generation of journalists and serves as a testament to the power of responsible journalism. So it is our privilege to get this opportunity to felicitate you and to have your support and to have your guidance in this national seminar that we organized today. Thank you so much, sir. I request everyone to give a big round of applause for Mr. Siva Mohanty. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Mr. Ashok Pradhanji. I request Hari Krishnan to come up on stage with the citation. I request our Vice Chancellor, sir. I request Honorable Senator Sujit, sir, to also come forward and present the citation to our distinguished journalist, Mr. Ashok Pradhan from the Times of India. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pradhan's distinguished journalist, whose remarkable 25-year career exemplifies excellence in media and investigative reporting. Currently serving as a Bureau Chief of Times of India in Odisha, Mr. Pradhan's journey in journalism began after completing his BSc Physics Honours at Gangadhar Mehar University and his subsequent training at the prestigious Indian Institute of Mass Communication. His illustrious career has spanned several leading publications, including Asian Age, Hindustan Times, Mail Today, Metro Now, Dainik Jagan, before finding his home at Times of India in 2010. Mr. Pradhan's dedication to uncovering truth is perhaps best illustrated by his groundbreaking expose of Delhi's beggar mafia, where he demonstrated extraordinary commitment by going undercover as a beggar himself, a story that caught the attention of people when he did his Sheila Dixit. Throughout his career, Mr. Pradhan has demonstrated versatility, expertise in covering a wide spectrum of fields from politics to health, education, real estate, and power sectors. In his unwavering commitment to journalistic integrity and his courage in pursuing challenges, stories have set new standards in investigative journalism. So it's our honor that we have got this opportunity to felicitate. Yes, sir. And with this, I request, first I would like to take this opportunity to request Mr. Siva Mohanty to speak few lines on this beautiful occasion. Sir.
Young days as a journalist, we used to cover Utkal University Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat is a development agenda. It's a dream, it's a vision that has been set out for us, for the whole country. But I believe the role of media remains unchanged. Viksit Bharat notwithstanding, it still remains the same, holding people who are in power holding them accountable to their work, fighting for the right causes, setting the right development agenda. We were taught as students of journalism to be that anti-establishment is the right cause to fight for. I believe in the Amrit Kal that we are calling it, we still are able to do that. Being anti-establishment doesn't necessarily mean that it's a negative, in the negative sense. It's about fighting for the right cause. I mean, if you look at the whole vision of Viksit Bharat, it probably talks about zero poverty, zero hunger, it talks about women empowerment, it talks about bringing prosperity to farmers. I believe there are gaps, there are a lot of sections which need to be covered, which need to be put in the print, in the digital, in the television medium, so that their causes, their development takes primacy in our development course. And that's what the role of media has been since independence, and that's what is going to be. There is not going to be any change in what the role of media was, is, and is going to be. And one small little advice to, if I can, to all the students of journalism. I mean, you need to know what you are fighting for. It's very important. If you want to be a journalist, then be prepared for a long haul. Be prepared for a very less non-glamorous work field. Whatever you see on television, whatever you see on digital, whatever you see on YouTube, if somebody else is presenting, there are a lot of people who are fighting it out there in the field. The little one, the kid that was standing right in front of me, Tajin Qureshi, I've seen her growing up since she was a baby. Her father was a photojournalist and continues to be one, 60 odd plus. Sequent, pretty lucrative career in sports journalism to do quite a bit of development journalism work. So my point is, you should know what you are fighting for, you should know what you are standing for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I also request Ashok Pradhan sir to kindly speak few words on this occasion.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Santosh Tripathi, whom we know since our very early days in journalism, esteemed academicians on the dais and in front of me, dear scholars and students. Thank you very much, and I really feel honored with this citation that was given to me by this university. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. Coming to the topic of today, role of media for Viksit Bharat. Not being an academician, I am not going to make any long speech or even a very short speech that way. I will just ask 2-3 questions, and you please answer in yes or no about role of media. I will try to make media as an acronym of various situations. If you agree with me, you say yes. If you don't agree, then you say no. Then I will try to explain role of media in Viksit Bharat in just 1 or 2 minutes. Media stands for monkey eating donuts in airplanes. Yes or no? Yes. Monkey eating donuts in airplanes. Yes. Media stands for making excuses daily, ignoring accountability. Yes. It is coming only from the front side, and I am listening only no. So there is no yes. Sir, this answer should come from the last line. I have not said anything yes. So Media is misrepresenting everything deliberately and always. No, media is manipulating everyone's daily information again and again. No, thankfully no. Not being an historian, I will not go back now into the history, but to understand Indian media's role, we would just briefly talk about media just before independence, just after independence, and now. If we divide this media role in just three small segments. Initially, when just before independence, media was used by Mahatma Gandhi, who founded three papers, Harijan and two other papers. So he used media for furthering the cause of India's freedom struggle. Motilal Nehru founded independent. Back home here in Odisha, Hare Krishna Mahtab and Gopabandhu Das founded two prestigious newspapers, Samaj and Prajatantra. So those were the time when media was used as a tool to fight against the Britishers. Then media was mobilizing enthusiasm, disseminating information, and awakening nationalism. That was media's acronym. When you have an enthusiastic vice chancellor like Santosh Tripathi, then that enthusiasm continues in every sphere. Thank you. Early years after independence, media began making everything disclosed and investigating abuses. When I say this, from 1948 to say 2000 and beyond, you have seen media highlighting this jeep purchase scam for army in 1948, then Mundra scandal where LIC money was wrongly invested, irregularities in 1958, then Bhopal scandals of the 1980s, Howlas of the 1990s, spectrum allocation scam of 2000, and very recently coal block allocation scam. So making government accountable was prime role of media. Shifting the focus from government to people now. If you remember how the Jessica Lal murder trial was conducted, nobody was found accused and media ran a campaign. One of the headlines cryingly read, "Nobody killed Jessica Lal," and that shook the conscience of the country. And then this media wrote that led to judiciary reopening the case and people getting convicted. Very recently you saw India against corruption in Delhi turning into a big movement. In fact, a political party born after taking cue from this movement. So that is the role of the media. And now when you talk about Viksit Bharat, media role is mobilizing efforts, government, public, private, everybody mobilizing efforts, driving innovation, everybody is talking about innovation, and ensuring accountability for development. Here you have accountability, you have innovation, you have mobilization, you have efforts of everyone. That's the role that we collectively play, and media as a catalyst has a big role to take it further. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, I now take this opportunity to request our guest of honor, Professor Anand Pradhan, who is the Regional Director of Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Decolonizing. He is amidst us. Sir has more than 2 decades of expertise and experience in academics, several research papers to his credits. He has conducted several training sessions and programs for PR professionals, and I request you to address all of us, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Padi. Respected Vice Chancellor, my colleagues on dais, faculty members, students, research scholars. This is an inaugural session. And generally in inaugural session, we expect Vice Chancellor and the keynote speaker to speak more. We are just guests of honor, to show that they are also present here. challenges and opportunity. I personally think that the role of media is, in a democratic, liberal democratic society like ours, is to highlight the issue of development, which is basically a contested idea. What is development? Who defines the development? What we, when basically number of scholars are saying that growth for growth's sake, development for development's sake, is basically the ideology of cancer sale. Are we, chasing some chimera which is basically, dreaming that how, the US or many other developed countries have developed, or so-called developed. We want to be there? And have we thought about the cost? Recently, of course, I am Pradhan, and a number of people confuse that I am from Orissa. My friend was asking me, but I am non-resident Odia, in a way like Naveen Patnaik was. I am a Pradhan, but Nakli Pradhan. So, how we are defining development? For whom? So recently I was reading a story. I landed from Delhi at airport with coat and sweater and all. And suddenly I realized, I am in a different time zone and different weather zone. And there was a story which I would like to quote in the context of development. What we are chasing, at what cost? So this story was in a newspaper, and I'm just quoting from that story. This story was on front page in Odisha Post, and the headline says everything. Odisha skips spring as summer arrives early. Do you think what we are losing in quest for the development? Have we thought about the cost of that development? What is development? When journalism or media just, presenting a particular kind of vision for development. When they are defining development as something where more highways, rail networks, infrastructure, what we call physical infrastructure, too much investment on physical infrastructure, but completely ignoring the social infrastructure, health, education, basic minimum facilities. We are now talking about digital. India, as an agricultural society, we are jumping from agricultural society to a service society. Have we thought about the, importance of employment, giving gainful, dignified employment to our young people? So these are some of the issues. I know, Dr. Pani is anxious, and I will not take much time, but I would like to highlight these issues which are, important when we are discussing how media is shaping the idea of development. I think this is, as scholars, we must challenge the one-dimensional idea of development and think about development in different perspectives. We must shape and define the idea of development from people's perspective, from nature perspective, from climate perspective, from the marginalized, from those who are not part perception of the public about media and the development in a particular way where, what they call or what we call feel-good journalism. And for feel-good journalism, they are ignoring a lot of things, which is basically invisible or making, so many parts of India and the section of the people invisible. But the role of journalism is to make things visible. Bring everything to the, public discourse. Make it more diverse, inclusive. The discussion must be more diverse and inclusive. So I would conclude here without taking much time, and hopefully in the, the post-lunch session, we will have more time to discuss, debate these ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. What you said, I'm reminded of a few guidelines and few things that we were discussing yesterday while we were giving finishing touch to our preparations. This campus is totally plastic free. Even plastic bottles is hard to find. So similarly, we are talking about lighting of the lamp, and we were reminded of our Vice Chancellor's advice that don't do anything that causes even wee bit of harm to the environment by smoke or plastic or something which is not very easily disposable. So we all here in FM University have pledged that. And Professor Devashish Patre is here. Indigenous festivals, dance and songs under the aegis of our ICSSR. We have to do that in the So yes sir, development has to be not unidirectional, all round and sustainable indeed. With this, now it is time to invite a guest of honor, but before inviting, I would like to speak few lines about him. Professor Sanjeev Vanavat, Professor, he is the former Professor and Head Center for Mass Communication, University of Rajasthan. He is my teacher, my guide, whatever I am today, and has been shaped by Vanavat sir through his guidance and teachings. Sir has so many decades of experience, and as Professor Pradhan was saying, there's not a single university probably in this country where he has not visited. And the celebrated media academician Mr. Sir, we are so glad that you graced this seminar by accepting our invitation to come here, Mr. Number of books to his credit, number of research papers to his credit, so many seminars and workshops that we have attended as students. Sir, I invite you and take this opportunity to invite you to address the gathering. Professor Sanjeev Vanavat.
बहुत धन्यवाद स्मृति आपके इस आत्मीय परिचय के लिए। बिना किसी औपचारिकता के सीधी अपनी बात शुरू करूंगा माननीय कुलपति जी के माध्यम से। आपने इनके नाम पे गौर किया हो, संतोष त्रिपाठी। हमारे राजस्थान में जो अंतिम संतान होती थी उसका नाम रहता था धापू बाई, यदि बेटी है। धापू मतलब धाप गए, अब और आवश्यकता नहीं। मेरी छोटी बहन जो है उसका नाम है तृप्ति। तृप्ति मतलब तृप्त हो गया। मुझे नहीं पता संतोष जी की पारिवारिक पृष्ठभूमि क्या है, लेकिन मैंने इन्हें हमेशा असंतुष्ट देखा है। असंतुष्ट अपने करियर को लेकर या वाइस चांसलर के अगली टर्म को लेकर के नहीं, काम करने को लेकर। जैसा स्मृति ने कहा, इस परिसर को जिस तरह से आपने अपने सपनों का परिसर बनाने के लिए 24 घंटे काम किया है, क्या मजाल की कोई व्हीकल अंदर आ जाए, पर्यावरण प्रदूषण फैलाए, प्लास्टिक फ्री। देखा मैंने, न जाने कितने गेस्ट हाउस में गए, सब जगह वो खरीदी हुई बोतलें रखी रहती है। आपके यहाँ 2 स्टील की जो बोतल्स हैं वो रखी हुई थी गेस्ट हाउस में। तो छोटी छोटी चीजों को किस तरह से आपने देखा है। पिछले वर्ष में आया था कॉन्फ्रेंस में इनकी कार्य पद्धति, और उसको पूरे को जो देखा है, तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि हमेशा असंतुष्ट रहते हैं। और ऐसा ही असंतुष्ट व्यक्ति विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में ऐसे नए प्रतिमान कायम करता है जो आने वाली पीढ़ी उनका अनुसरण करती है। मैं राजस्थान से आया हूँ, शौर्य और पराक्रम की धरती, उसकी अपनी एक परंपरा, और उड़ीसा मेरे लिए नया नहीं है। जब मैं स्कूल में पढ़ता था तब पहली बार भुवनेश्वर में आया था, और जब पिछले 5-7 साल में 2-3-4 बार आना हुआ, बरहमपुर भी गया, पीएचडी वायवा के लिए प्रधान जी शायद पता नहीं उस समय वहाँ थे नहीं थे बरामपुर में, और भी अलग अलग कैपेसिटी में जाना हुआ। उड़ीसा का पूरा बदलाव देखने का मुझे एक अवसर मिला। और जब पिछली बार बुलाया तब जो सामने चित्र लगा हुआ है फकीर मोहन जी का, जिनके नाम से ये विश्वविद्यालय है, एक मेरे मन में उथल पुथल हुई, ये शख्सियत है कौन जिनके नाम से विश्वविद्यालय बना दिया गया। जब जीवनी पढ़ी तो निश्चय ही एक ऐसा आश्चर्य, एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व जिसकी कोई औपचारिक शिक्षा नहीं हुई, वो आपकी मेरी तरह से विश्वविद्यालय में उच्च शिक्षा प्राप्त नहीं की, लेकिन अपने प्रदेश के लिए, अपनी भाषा के लिए, अपनी संस्कृति के लिए सब कुछ कुर्बान कर दिया। आज उस उड़िया भाषा पे आप गर्व करते हैं, उस उड़िया भाषा के साहित्य का जनक, ये सामने जिनका चित्र लगा है, यदि मेरी जानकारी ठीक है तो फकीर मोहन जी का चित्र होना चाहिए, मैंने चित्र देखा नहीं। किस तरह से कहानियों के माध्यम से, उपन्यासों के माध्यम से, छोटी छोटी लघु कथाओं के माध्यम से उस व्यक्ति ने लोगों के जीवन में बदलाव की एक आधार भूमिका तैयार की। अभी सुबह जब हम चहलकदमी करते हुए परिसर में आ रहे थे आदरणीय विश्वजीत दास जी के नेतृत्व में, तब बात आई थी कि ये जो बालेसर है ये कलकत्ता के एक तरह से हिस्सा है। तब मुझे याद आया फकीर मोहन जी, जिन्होंने उस बंगला भाषा के प्राधान्य को लेकर के और उड़ीसा भाषा की स्थापना के लिए किस तरह से संघर्ष किया था। तो जब एक व्यक्ति या दूसरे रूप में कहूं तो साहित्यकार, और जब फकीर मोहन जी के बारे में मैंने पढ़ा तो मुझे हमारे हिंदी के प्रेमचंद याद आ गए, जिस भूमि से आनंद प्रधान जी बिलोंग करते हैं, बनारस। जब ये शायद 88-89 के आसपास बीएचयू के विद्यार्थी, तब मुझे भी मौका लगा था एक व्याख्यान देने के लिए वहां जाने का। मुझे पता नहीं आनंद जी उस समय क्लास में थे नहीं थे, लेकिन तब से मैं इनको देख रहा हूँ। छात्र संघ की सक्रिय राजनीति से लेकर के अलग अलग अखबारों में उनके लेखन के माध्यम से इनके व्यक्तित्व बहुत निकटता से देखा। तो वो प्रेमचंद की भूमि जो बनारस से, जिन्होंने एक तरह से उनके पास में जब मैं बनारस गया था तो वो लंबी गांव होकर के आया। उस प्रेमचंद ने, देखिए साहित्यकार जो होता है वही दृष्टा होता है, किस तरह से वो अपने समय को देखता हुआ जिस तरह से मूल्यों की रचना करता है। जब उड़ीसा जैसे क्षेत्र में फकीर मोहन जी और हमारे उधर जो उत्तर भारत का क्षेत्र है वहां पर प्रेमचंद जैसे साहित्यकार उस समय की सामाजिक विकृतियों के खिलाफ संघर्ष कर सकते थे। फकीर मोहन जी ने व्यंग्यात्मक आदर्शवाद की बात की, और ये जो हमारे प्रेमचंद थे इन्होंने आदर्श की बात की, आदर्शवादी यथार्थवाद की बात की। इनके साहित्यिक रचनाओं में थोड़ा वैविध्य तो आएगा, लेकिन कुल मिलाकर के नारी शिक्षा की बात भारतेंदु ने जाना किस समय कर दी थी, 1869 में नारी शिक्षा पर केंद्रित पत्रिका निकाली थी। तो ये इस तरह से, तो मुझे लगता है जब विकसित भारत की बात करते हैं तो ये एक व्यक्ति जिस तरह से पूरे युग के बदलाव की आधार भूमिका बन सकता है, तो जिस मीडिया को लेकर के हमारे दोनों जो वरिष्ठ मीडिया साथी हैं, संयोग से IIMC के ही विद्यार्थी रहे और आज उड़िया जर्नलिज्म में ये एक विशिष्ट नाम से जाने जाते हैं, जिन्होंने इसी बात को रेखांकित किया कि मीडिया की अपनी भूमिका 47 से रही है, इस बात में कोई दो राय नहीं। और पत्रकारिता के पहली क्लास में सूचना, शिक्षा, मनोरंजन, टू इन्फॉर्म, टू एजुकेट, टू एंटरटेन, इन तीन मुख्य उद्देश्यों को लेकर के जो मीडिया संचालित हो रहा है, आज स्थिति क्या है। आप में से जितने विद्यार्थी हैं, हमारे प्रधान भाई या तीन प्रधान त्रयी हैं, दो प्रधान जो है तो यहाँ बैठे हैं और एक हमारे सामने और भी होंगे, लेकिन जिनसे हमारा परिचय हुआ उन्होंने आपसे कुछ सवाल पूछे थे। मेरा सवाल ये, आप में से कितने विद्यार्थी नियमित रूप से अखबार पढ़ते हैं? देखते नहीं की बात कर रहा हूं, पढ़ते हैं। हाथ खड़ा कीजिए, कितने विद्यार्थी पढ़ते हैं? 2, 3, 4, वो भी सोच सोच के हाथ खड़ा कर रहे हो। आप इतना सोचना पड़ रहा है कि मैं अखबार पढ़ता हूँ या पढ़ती हूँ कि नहीं पढ़ती। वो फिर आगे की सवाल जवाब में, सर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, मैं देश के अनेक विश्वविद्यालयों में गया और जिन विद्यार्थियों से बात करता हूँ कोई अखबार नहीं पढ़ता है। आने वाले समय में प्रिंट मीडिया की हालत क्या होने वाली है। और अभी AI की बात है, हमारे प्रधान जी ने कहा, अब तो AI आधारित आप देख रहे हैं गूगल करके न्यूज GPT, कहीं मानवीय हस्तक्षेप है ही नहीं, सारा अखबार AI बेस्ड। AI के पास तो सूचनाओं का था भंडार है। आपकी जितनी भी वेबसाइट है, आज के अखबार में पढ़िए, भारत सरकार ने केंद्रीय कर्मचारियों पर चैट GPT यूज करने पर प्रतिबंध लगा दिया, डेटा लीक हो रहा है। तो जिस AI की एक्सेस दुनिया भर के रिसोर्सेस पर है, आपकी मेरी तो अपनी सीमाएं हैं। तो आप कल्पना कीजिए मीडिया मीडिया का भविष्य क्या होने जा रहा है। और देखिए, जब भी नई तकनीक आती है वो अपने साथ नए खतरे और नई संभावनाएं लेकर के आती है। जिन विषयों पर आज आप बहस कर रहे हैं उन पर हम तब बहस करते थे जब आपकी उम्र के थे। भाई आनंद जी को ध्यान होगा, जब डिबेट बोलने जाते थे, टेलीविजन हमारी युवाओं की संस्कृति अभिरुचियों को भ्रष्ट कर देगा, ये विषय हमें दिए जाते थे डिबेट बोलने के लिए। बाद में जज बन के जाने लगे, एफएम ने हमारी भाषा को बर्बाद कर दिया है। और अब कंप्यूटर क्रांति, हड़तालें होंगी ऑफिस में, कंप्यूटर हमारी नौकरी छीन लेगा। और अब क्या दौर आ गया, जिसको कंप्यूटर नहीं पता वो नौकरी लायक नहीं है। डिजिटल लिटरेसी मिशन, हमारा डिजिटल इंडिया मिशन है, 8-9 एरियाज है। सवाल ये की बात करता मैं आपसे, विकसित भारत की जो अवधारणा योजना आयोग ने दृष्टि पत्र तैयार किया है, $30 ट्रिलियन, क्या आसान काम है क्या? $18,000 की प्रति व्यक्ति इनकम, अभी हम 3,000 की बात कर रहे हैं, पर 3,000 भी नहीं है हमारा, 18,000, 3 गुना आपको बढ़ाना है। तो जिस तरह से इकोनॉमी का विस्तार हो रहा है, आप यूएस के साथ पहुंचना चाहते हैं, 20 साल में पहुंचना कोई आसान काम नहीं है। सरकार ने एक लक्ष्य आपके सामने रखा है। तो मुझे लगता है जो भावना आजादी से पहले थी इस देश के लिए कुर्बान हो जाने की, आप जाके देखिए उन स्थानों पर। मेरे साथ उस शालिनी महापात्रा जी हैं, जब ये कल बात कर रही थी कि फकीर मोहन जी का यहाँ पर एक मकान है, मैंने कहा मुझे लेके चलना वहाँ। किसी ने मैंने कहा कुछ भी नहीं है, मैंने कहा उस भूमि का प्रताप है। जब मैं शांति निकेतन गया तो हजारी प्रसाद द्विवेदी का वो विभाग देखने गया, हिंदी विभाग, जहाँ रहकर के उन्होंने अशोक के फूल निबंध संग्रह लिखा था अपना। एक फीलिंग होती है वहां जाकर के कि किस तरह से उन लोगों ने इस देश में एक रचनात्मक बदलाव की भूमिका तैयार की थी। ये कहीं प्रेरणा देते हैं। यदि वो फीलिंग हमारे मन में आती है, पूरा ब्यूरोक्रेसी में बदलाव होना चाहिए। आज टेलीविजन, रेडियो, अखबार, इनका पूरा का पूरा जो प्राइम टाइम है, मुख्य स्थान विज्ञापन कंपनी ने खरीद लिया है। आज देश में ऐसे अखबार है जिनका मास्टर हेड वो बदल जाता है, पैसा दो आप करोड़ों रुपए, मास्टर बदल जाएगा। जो अखबार की आत्मा है, आइडेंटिटी है, आम आदमी की आवाज कहाँ है उसमें? 3-3, 4-4 पृष्ठ शुरू के वो सब विज्ञापन कंपनी ने खरीद लिए। तो वो मीडिया जिसको हम बहुत सम्मान तो देते ही हैं, जब भी मीडिया से आते हैं आगे आगे बिठाते हैं, तो जिस मीडिया से इतनी अपेक्षाएं समाज को है, तो उसको भी जो बात आनंद जी ने कही थी कि उस वैचारिक प्रक्रिया का हिस्सा बनना पड़ेगा। ये खबरें मुख्य स्थान पर आए, मुख्य पृष्ठों पर आए, अदलगल राजनीतिक बयानों की बजाय इस देश की जो मूल समस्याएं हैं, चाहे वो क्लाइमेट चेंज की है, जो हमारी गरीबी है, बहुत सारी चुनौतियां हैं जिनके लिए समय नहीं है बोलने का। जैसा आपने कहा कि हम शिक्षा के घंटों बात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन सूत्र रूप में ये कहना चाहूंगा कि मीडिया की अपनी एक विशिष्ट भूमिका है। और विकसित भारत का स्वप्न पूरा करने के लिए सरकार ने चुनने के बाद प्रधानमंत्री किसी पार्टी का नहीं है, पूरे देश का है। और जो सरकार का स्वप्न है, आपने वोट दिया है, बहुमत से चुना है, तो उनके जो लक्ष्य है उनको प्राप्त करने के लिए, क्योंकि जिस तरह से लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं का अवमूल्यन हो रहा है, पत्रकार इसी समाज का निकला हुआ है, तो कैसे हम उस अवमूल्यन होती संस्कृति को थाम पाएंगे और इस देश को विकसित भारत का स्वप्न साकार करने के लिए न सिर्फ मीडिया बल्कि हम सभी के सामूहिक सहभागिता की अपेक्षा है। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, जिस रूप में आपने और अपने शब्दों के माध्यम से हम ये समा बांधा और इतने महत्वपूर्ण बिंदुओं पे आपने ध्यान आकृष्ट किया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। इसी के साथ मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी प्रोफेसर विश्वजीत दास, फाउंडिंग डायरेक्टर Center for Culture, Media and Governance from Jamia Millia Islamia, to come and address the gathering, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Mehra, fellow colleagues of the dais, Professor Anand Pradhan, Sir Pradhan, and we have Balasore and Banawat, Professor Banawati, and Professor Patnaik, and also Smriti Bharat. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, and I'm also very excited, even though I had a very structured presentation. I think I need to get out because it's kind of, everybody is sort of trying to be more informal in terms of their discussion. basically I belong to Balasore, and I did my schooling here, 4 years in Jilla School. Then also I studied in Fakir Mohan College for 4 years, and after that, probably since I left Balasore, and I have never come back. And this gave me an opportunity to be here. And I remember in my undergrad days, in my college, when I was doing English literature, one of my teacher in political science, sub-C, subsequently became, I think, IRS, Indian Revenue Service, and so on. He used to teach about media and democracy, and used to frequently give examples, and I frequently quoted for last 38 years, till the date I retired as a superannuated as a professor. Vidhu Babu, when he was teaching political science, he used to compare democracies, because we have very, very weird notions about media's role with democracy. Everything we sort of try to, these are borrowed ideas. And Vidhu Babu, when he was teaching, he always gave an example of Dalton, who was the finance minister in England, and during Prime Minister Attlee's government. And a journalist went to Dalton and asked him, is there any taxation on cigarette? Dalton just gave a faint smile and said, you will get to know after the budget. You will get to know after the budget is being presented. The journalist was very smart. He invited him for a stroll in the seesaw. When they were walking down on the sea stroll, he offered him a cigarette. Dalton gave a faint smile and lit the cigarette. The journalist packed up and left. And when Dalton was going to present the budget, there was a strong uproar from the opposition, taxation on cigarettes, taxation on cigarettes. Dalton said, I'm resigning. Attlee said, wait. First you present your budget, then you can resign. Dalton said, no, these are moral issues. I mean, how this was disclosed, and I have to resign. However, he was persuaded to make his presentation. Then he resigned, and he became subsequently as a professor of economics, and he wrote a book on money. That's at Tel Aviv University. And that is the level of engagement and accountability they're talking about. So Vidhu Babu says, now where is your democracy? Where do you stand? And this was my probably, I'm talking about 1977, when I was doing my undergrad. Now this is the long story of Indian democracy. Now what kind of democracies are we talking about? We have forgotten that there are democracies within democracy. You can't be a mother's democracy and always lamenting about what media has role in democracy. We have forgotten, we have come a long way. In fact, media's democracy, it's very interesting. One of the professor of media, John Merrill, says, I think everybody should know it. It's called brewed in Scotland. Because when you say the nobility, who are the nobles? Who are the nobles? Remaining out of the state and the people, they are the nobles, the aristocrats. Brewed in England, matured in United States, exported all over the world. That is the kind of like a scotch. You find democracy as an idea was exported all over the world so that we get colonized for the last several years and talking about media's role in democracy. That was never at all. In fact, you find that ever since 1950s, 1947, media in making democracy, to what extent we have been successful? Not at all. Look at your radio, look at your newspaper. What happened to newspaper industries? We never talk about. Suddenly post-47 you find most of the newspapers were shut and only few houses came up. This is the total bourgeois newspaper agencies. I'm talking about Times of India, name anyone. Have you ever thought that why they stopped? Why they stopped? If they were registered under 1860 Act, no profit, no loss-making industry, why suddenly after 50s they became a bloody industry, company, under the Company Act? Under the Company Act, we never do any research on it. We never do research on it. we always go by the borrowed ideas. Everything shut after 50s. It become a, you have to earn revenue. So it's a revenue making industry. It's a surplus value industry. Like the cinema, everything has followed the path. We are completely colonized. And we are talking using the same technology and language, we are talking about development. What kind of development are we talking about? You cannot get out of this whole language which has been imposed from the above itself. So when you are thinking about, say, media, suddenly AI comes, everybody is fascinated. There's a very interesting, when in the US, for the first time the discipline came mass communication, there was a very interesting statement which was given. It's called inertia of the past, shock of the new. I mean, there was no scholarship at all in the past. And suddenly when AI jumped into it. Or even you say ChatGPT. I mean, everything because you want to capture, consume it. It's because these are the shock. These are the shock which are coming as a shock to you. If you have a solid grounding in your discipline, in your history, probably you can engage better. And that is the context when you are talking about Viksit Bharat. I'm sure that I know I have been going to various seminars talking about Viksit Bharat. And I know what a jamboree it is and what a kind of a sloganeering about Viksit Bharat. But one good thing which I find about Viksit Bharat, no matter whether we succeed in making, we have never succeeded so far in the last 78 years. That is actually how to decolonize ourselves. How to decolonize ourselves. That is the idea. In a disciplinary colonization, in social science, entire social science, not about media studies per se. Its entire social science is extremely, we are colonized. That is what we are trying to talk about, decolonization. And that is the idea of Viksit Bharat. And attach it with Indian knowledge systems today, we find that we are talking about how do we develop different knowledge traditions, Are we talking about newspaper? I mean, I have some interest in journalism education. Not in journalism. I'm not at all a student of journalism. I'm a student of sociology. My entry into media is from sociology. I have done my entire studies in education and sociology, social sciences. Now, whenever we talk about journalism, we only talk about content and news. We have never talked about organization. We have never talked about organization. We have not talked about hierarchy. We have never talked about looking at it from a sociology of organization. What happens in a journalism organization? That would have given us an idea about journalism education, which is missing. We only touch upon, we don't know about the labor, wages in journalism. You look at the first press commission, second press commission reports. Unfortunately, the way the journalists are treated. Why? Because in terms of the associations, it is the owner who's the member of the association, not the labor. We have never looked at the labor questions. The moment you would have looked at the labor questions in journalism, probably you would have given a completely different orientation to journalism. Different orientation, the same thing. The question is whether it's the TV or journalism, or even you say today we talk about IT sector. One of the very important Professor Vincent Moscow, he talks about can the labours be united? Let's say if we are working class, there's a media across the sector from a TV, radio, newspaper, even a hawker who serves newspaper to your house. Can you all come together? You will say never. Because there is so much hierarchy and elitism within the media sector today. Somebody says I'm highly educated, somebody says I'm not. So he's sort of trying to bring in again the Marx idea and trying to say, can the workers be united to make a stupid competition? Like a lot of you have been studying on gender. You're talking about all women, suddenly you find there is a more participation of women in media. Will it change? Will it transform the image of women? Not at all. Not at all. They're sucked into the system. They're sucked into the system. That you need to understand. Can there be, let's say, there is an event going on, a section of women, those who are taking pictures, they would like to post it, and it goes to Bombay. Then from there it goes to Hong Kong, then it leaves across the star. Can they make an opposition, a resistance at the site of production of the image itself? Not at all. There are people who would like to control. You need to understand the dynamics of it. Rather than talking on a surface has no meaning at all. How best to be represented, how best to be communicated. So Viksit Bharat would probably, I hope, because we failed 70, 80 years, that we have not overthrown the entire system in education. Even I remember during my MPhil and MA days in JNU, we were talking about how to go back to our roots of education, searching for an alternative. We never failed. You can see a series of seminar engagement with search for roots and education, colonization. You find that is where, even in the post-colonial context, we continued with it. We have never indigenized. We cannot engage with the larger theoretical context. What Anand was saying was correct. That the term development has been a totalized system. We know that there is a much development in terms of different kinds of stakeholders today emerge, even indigenous knowledge which has emerged. On the one hand, you have a structure, the other one you have an agency which you find, the actors you find. Similarly, when you talk about media or newspaper or journalism, I think television, for instance, what our last study is likely to come out. We said that today everybody is criticizing television because we say that, look, there is a demise of the medium. I remember the other day I submitted a book project we did on media diversity, and we wanted to engage with the idea of media diversity. So we say that the more that diverse the media, the better the health of democracy. That's the idea. So we wanted to look at the sources, the voices, the actor. We in television itself, who are the people constantly being invited as a talking heads in sitting in a kind of television? We are sort of trying to make how much variations they're making. We found that, you know, when it went for a review, suddenly some journalists were there, probably they said, why you are working on television? It's a dead medium. You should work in social media. I said, that's nonsense. I would like to work why it is dead. So that is the question that we, as an academic questions that we are interested in. Rather than what a journalist tells that it is dead, I will take it, accept it, take it for granted. I think that's not the case. So I think they were finally convinced that, look, why the institution? We are talking about the institution, like television. Imagine, till date in India, the large section of people, they watch television. We as urbanites, probably in metros, we probably have stopped watching TV, but I think a large section of people in this country, they are watching television. We can't deny it. So the question is, why we say, how best to make it? Probably, as one of my student work, which I also just trying to see, what is missing in the news itself is probably a term which now we are talking about is value. It's called news value. Now value has been, well, kind of an issue of measurement. People are sort of trying to measure in what way that the news can be, news provide better value. So value is now another area to engagement in the future. People have been working on news value. So the value is, today we are not, we can't talk about any more public service. In fact, there are more commercial services than public service. Public service is a completely minority. So what I'm trying to say is that we do not find today that more and more we are talking about, let's get out of it now. News studies is much more popularized. Now people are talking about news studies because today you can't make a comparison public service, commercial service, because it's all commercial service in the news itself. So it needs a complete orientation towards news, and news has an autonomy. Look at 24/7 news you are getting it as a feed. That itself shows that news has its own identity, and news can continue independently of any other. So news is like you can study infotainment, entertainment, and whatsoever. I think these are the ways that it's probably would be interesting to study. But coming to this university, this was my first visit to the university. I enjoyed it, but one thing I probably would request, Honorable Vice Chancellor, I mean, we have Fakir Mohan, it's fine. But we need to also put a statue of whatever. It's a famous, it's called Balasore ship. Balasore jahan it was a ship back here. So you find in Glasgow, there was a ship called Balasore ship. You can see it in London Museum. Because I travel the world and I have to sort of trying to more and more, making me more engaged with Balasore, because ever since Corona pandemic, that was the time I started a Balasore study group online. So I would try to invite more historians, anthropologists, sociologists, media scholars, and put them all together and to do work on Balasore. I have a larger dream about Balasore to do work, and which we have been doing it in Delhi. Because Balasore, you know that you had the French population, you had the Dutch, you had the Portuguese, and the British. There were 4 colonies in Balasore. And there was a French school also. I mean, it was quite exciting. When I went to Shimla a year back in '97 as a fellow, I met the IS officer, Chakra, KJ Chakra. And he asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Orissa. He said, no, which part of Orissa? I said, Balasore. He said, you know about Balasore? I said, I don't know much about Balasore. Then he told me he did a PhD on Balasore in Paris. In Paris he did a PhD. And he also brought out a very interesting book anybody can download or even can purchase. It's called Balasore Papers. Balasore Papers. So I have been following it up for a long time. And larger dream is even wherever I travel across the world, in French, in Dutch, because mostly the materials are in French and Dutch languages. English obviously we can read and decode, but French and because there was a French school here in Balasore. They were almost having 48 hectares of land. So, you know, these are to do the cartography, mapping, building an institution. That is how it is, because it's named Fakir Mohan. I thought that probably I would like to, I'll just stop here. But I basically wanted to say that this is a time that we would like to engage with our indigenous concepts and theories. Probably it's not theory, meta theory, we can say. Even as he pointed out about development, we probably start asking in our local context what development is, rather than following what this book says, that book says. I think this is a high time that we need to engage with it. And I'm sure that we will have more challenges in the future in education along with the Indian knowledge system, because there is a heavy emphasis on getting into indigenized. Now obviously you can raise questions about what do we mean, where do we end and where do we begin. You know, everybody, when you say about indigenous knowledge, they all focus on what you call, going into the Vedic, but there are post-Vedic as well, so that it's a long history, long. So I think that's enough. I think I've been already asked to wind up my presentation. Thank you very much. And for giving me an opportunity. Thank you, Honorable Master.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I just want to say 2 lines with the permission of Vice Chancellor, sir. So before I request you to deliver your address, just एक बात दिमाग में आ रहा है. Professor Pradhan जी ने कहा that he has seen you, he has seen our Vice Chancellor, sir, to remain calm amidst chaos. तो इसका मतलब उनका जो नाम है वो यथार्थ में वो परिवर्तित हो रहा है. संतोष मतलब जो संतुष्ट रहता है, पीसफुल रहता है. लेकिन भानुवत सर ने कहा है कि उन्होंने हमेशा उनको एंशियस देखा है, हमेशा उत्सुक देखा है, क्या नया करें, कैसे चेंज करें, कैसे बेटरमेंट के लिए. तो मैं सोच रही थी दोनों की बातों को. तो I am reminded of Shiva's Tandav dance, you know. So Shiva's Tandav dance symbolizes both destruction and creation at the same time. Because when you destroy the what's resulting and wrong, only then you can create something new life, new thought, new in the making. So that is what our Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi
history and also how we can relate this idea of history and literature to Viksit Bharat and develop India, particularly with reference to how an individual can contribute so significantly for development of our nation, particularly referring to the name of Fakir Mohan. Thank you, sir, for your deliberation. Next, I would like to thank Professor Anand Pradhan, Director of IIM Sinankana, for his reflections on the role of media in Viksit Bharat and also very nicely and aptly defining the idea of Viksit Bharat and connecting it with so many other social and economic aspects. Thank you, sir, for your presence here. And I would also like to thank Professor Pradhan for his deliberations on the theme of the seminar, and which is quite relevant in our times. And an understanding of the socio-cultural dynamics of India is very important if we want to actually make use of media for the betterment of our society and nation. Thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank HOD, Department of Journalism, Mass Communication, is also the convener for a relentless effort in organizing this seminar. And she has been working day and night since last 2 and 3 months, realizing this seminar to happen. So thank you, madam, for being there as a guiding light for all of us. And I also like to thank Smriti Padi, madam, for nicely managing this inaugural session and also coordinating the process of organizing the seminar. And also I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor sir, who has been always there with us, and he has been almost 4 years. He has been working in this university. I have seen the number of programs that our university have actually organized is way above than, I believe that it must be above than the number of programs which have already been organized prior to him joining this university. I'm sure. So I know always been there to support us, guide us, and inspire us. Thank you, sir, for your guidance and inspiration to march ahead in our academic journey. And also I would like to thank all the eminent guests who have been invited from different universities, particularly Professor Sethi and Pradeep sir, then our Vishwal sir, Santosh Vishwal, Professor Santosh Vishwal, Ambika Shankar Mishra, then Jnanaranjan Mishra, then Vibhushan Das and many others. And also I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our 2 of the professional journalists, Shiva Prasad Mahanti and Ashok Pradhan, for their presence and accepting our invitation to accept our love and respect, our say, and being here and sharing their ideas about Viksit Bharat and what will be the role of journalists and media in the entire effort that the Indian government is putting up and planning to realize its dreams by 2047. And apart from that, I would also like to thank all the teachers and faculty members from our university and participants who have come from different universities and institutes for their presence here, and also the students who have been gathered here to listen to these deliberations. And at last, I would also like to thank the media persons who are present here for being here and covering the seminar. So thank you all. So I am sure that this seminar is going to offer wonderful deliberations and discussions and throw light on the idea of Viksit Bharat and role of media and how we can actually realize the dream of Viksit Bharat by 2047. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So with this, we come to the end of inaugural session, and I would request all our respected guests and dignitaries to join in for the photo session. Request the students and volunteers, the participants also to come forward. We'll have a group photograph. इसी मौके पे 2 लाइनें भी बोल देती हूँ. फिर फोटो के लिए जाना पड़ेगा। जो दिल का हो खूबसूरत, जो दिल का हो खूबसूरत, भगवान ने ऐसे लोग कम बनाए हैं। जो दिल का हो खूबसूरत, भगवान ने ऐसे लोग कम बनाए हैं। जिन्हें ऐसे बनाया है भगवान ने, आज वो हमारे इस नेशनल सेमिनार में आए हैं। तो आइए फोटोग्राफ के साथ इस इनॉग्रेशन सेशन को हम क्लोज करते हैं। Just right after this, we have our plenary session 1 here itself. And join us in the plenary session. We have Professor Felicitation, Department of Mass Communication, Aligarh University. We have Viksit Bharat, President Editor, Indian Express, Malaysia. We have Pradhan, Chief of Bureau, Times of India, Malaysia. Professor Anand Pradhan is going to chair the plenary session now. Mr. Pradhan Charya and Siddhenga now. So, I request the volunteers also to come forward. We are running short of time. Very soon we'll start the plenary session. Moti Bhankam, Madam, kindly come on the dais. Dilip sir, our volunteers, participants in the cultural program. Professor Ganesh Singh sir is already here. I am so very delighted to look at his face always. आज आइए सभी लोग मंच पे। Scholars from Balasore University, Keynote University, please come and join the photo session. Srinivas ji, आ जाइए आप भी। Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I request the volunteers of stage committee to please come on the dais. Stage committee, students of the stage committee, volunteers of stage committee, please come. Please come near me. I request our resource persons to kindly come from the dais. I request the scholars to kindly be seated. We are continuing with the plenary session 1 so that we can conclude well in time and proceed for lunch well in time. I request Moti Bhankam ma'am to kindly help us arrange the nameplates. Professor Pikamas Pradhan, Mahanti or Shri Ashok Pradhan. Yes, so I request Professor Pikamas Pradhan to kindly come on the dais. I request Shri Siva Mahanti to kindly come on the dais. Yes, sir. We'll finish it off and then we'll proceed for lunch. I request Shri Ashok Pradhan, Chief of Bureau, Times of India, to come on the dais. And I request Professor Anand Pradhan to kindly come to the dais, sir. For plenary session, sir. Sure, sir, sure. Sure, for Inclusive Development. I request our volunteers to serve tea on the dais for our speakers. Rajasmita, would you please help serving tea to our speakers on the dais? तो इसी के साथ मैं पहले अनुरोध करती हूँ श्री सीमा महांती जी, रेसिडेंट एडिटर न्यू इंडियन एक्सप्रेस भुवनेश्वर, to kindly take the seat on the dais. Sir, kindly place the dais. Shri Siva Mahanti. I request everyone to give a huge round of applause. Welcome, sir. I now request Shri Ashok Pradhan, Chief of Bureau, Times of India, Bhubaneswar, to kindly grace the dais. सभी से अनुरोध है जोरदार तालियों के साथ सबका स्वागत करें. I now request Professor Anand Pradhan, Regional Director, Indian Institute of Maths. सर, आप चाय मंच पे ले लीजिए. आ जाइए सर चाय के साथ. जी जी, अब चाय पे चर्चा होगी. हमारे जो वॉलंटियर्स हैं वो हमारे स्पीकर्स के लिए चाय का व्यवस्था मंच पे कर दीजिए, सो दैट हम सेशन जो है शुरू कर लें बिना विलंब किए. I now request Professor Pitalas Pradhan बाहर गए हुए हैं चाय लेने. शिवा, आप थोड़ा देर सर को बुला लीजिए, चाय के साथ आ जाए, कोई बात नहीं. So this is a very important. Hare Krishna, please remove the extra chairs. We have 4 speakers for this session. Kindly help with the chairs. 4 ही जने हैं speaker, 4 chairs में हो जाएगा. Yes. So this is a very important topic that we have before us in this session. The topic is media for inclusive development. We all heard our speakers speak in the inaugural session. We heard about the idea of development being talked about in length. कि development क्या है, विकास क्या है, how to define development. Professor Pradhan was saying कि development की जो परिभाषा है, development का जो definition है, वो हर एक व्यक्ति के लिए अलग हो सकता है. India being such a diverse kind of it has so much diversity. इतने तरीके के cultures हैं, tribes हैं. एक व्यक्ति, एक मछुआरा जो नदी किनारे में बैठ के मछली पकड़ रहा है, खुद उगा रहा है, खेती कर रहा है, शांति से सो रहा है, 102 साल जी रहा है. क्या वो डेवलप्ड है कि नहीं डेवलप्ड है? So here in this particular session we are going to talk about different ideas of development and the idea of inclusive development. Now, and the session is being chaired by Professor Anand Pradhan. So, sir, over to you. Do we have the cordless mic, Ramachandra? Cordless microphones? Okay.
We have mic.
Yeah.
Let's have some kind of a conversation. Of course, audience is not here. Okay. So now we are facing the reality. Thank you very much. In this session, what we have discussed and planned, that we will have some kind of a conversation on the issue, which is basically media for inclusive development. At least now, yes, please, sir. हाँ, 2 मिनट बोलना है. So it's a conversation. Please come. Please come. You please come. आजी sir. आजी please sit. Yes. आप So, as a chair of this session, my role is just to pass the mic to my speakers and frame certain questions. Okay. So, at least
the topic inclusive development, rural media inclusive development.
Please take your seats now. Please be quiet.
जैसे कि इनॉग्रेशन सेशन में इंक्लूडिंग your said, idea of development is very contested. So, to give an example, the country sets a target to give concrete roof structure houses and concrete brick wall structure houses to everyone by certain years, say by 2029. But having a concrete roof, it is one aspect of development. Government thinks that everybody is entitled to concrete roof houses. But all dwellers may not agree with it. If somebody is more comfortable in say mod wall houses and every year several roof houses, staying in that is not someone may say if that is taken as a parameter, then someone may say so many people are living in not concrete houses and consider it as a because even as a competitive media and as an industry, it has to be stay ahead of competition, and to stay ahead of competition, it has to be objective. And in no way that dilutes the role of media. And not just as a mission or a activism, the way traditionally media is believed to be, even as an industry, it can play an excellent role.
Siva, you want to make any short comment before we go to the audience?
I'll switch to something else.
Yeah, it's working, it's working. It's working.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What Aswal said, I completely agree with. We are demonized at some point, but we are not that bad. Let me assure you. Assure the students, I mean, they are the ones who are going to take this road. Like Professor Santosh, the participate 52047, I don't know how many of us would like to see the next year. At least I can say that I will do there to cherish that is realized.
Right.
When we are talking about inclusive, I mean, media is only inclusive development, is also need to look at something like how is news consumed these days. It's a very vital question that needs to be asked. What are you consuming? In a market economy, like Professor Das said, what is being served to you is probably either it's demanded or it's some kind of algorithm decides that is what's going to be served to you. So, a particular newspaper or media house uses a particular, not an agenda, but a particular tone of development. But does it change it when it's not consumed? Do you see more reels on Instagram on a particular subject because it's consumed immensely, or because there is a huge demand for it, or because we think that the production of those reels actually does some kind of good social good? That's the thing that we need to also understand. At some point of time, media also solves what's consumed. Somebody talked about the feel good journalism, right? I think good stories are also important, right? But it's not so green, gloomy, and bad everywhere. There are bad stories, there are very stories of deprivation, there are stories of backwardness, there are stories of tragedy, failure that absolutely needs to be, and there should never be any doubt that they need the first, they have the privacy for a newspaper, for a television, for a digital media. It happens. If you see, there are small little clips on Instagram. Just wonder when it's out on a particular story. And it might be from a Bangalore, but back in maybe in remote Karnataka, maybe from remote Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, it does work. Maybe we need to understand that how to make it work. If the news consumption, we understand that consumption pattern and how to kind of I'm not use the word monetize it. I'll say how to market it well.
typical challenges in journalism and media and mass communication. So, and people are always facing social challenges or social questions or social institutions. Media is highlighting that why media people are so making embarrassing situation by giving fake news and बढ़ाव चढ़ाव करके जो लिखते हैं the typical Hindi word and वो use. So how to challenge them and how media professionals or upcoming media professionals will keep in mind that they will combat those suggestions and come out of that. That is my question. Thank you.
नमस्कार शुभ अपराह्न फकीर मोहन मार्केट एवं आज पंचायत ज्ञानीगणी व्यक्ति उपस्थित ज्ञानीगणी व्यक्ति समस्त फकीर मोहन मार्केट ओडिया एक प्रश्न पचार क्षमा लगे कारण ये जातीय स्तर आलोचना प्रश्न सम्यक धारणा रखिए आम बर्तमान आलोचन विकास को किभली भाव में कौ संज्ञा रूप देवा संज्ञा कौन रखा नहीं आम बर्तमान संध्यान अच्छे एवं सम्यक भाव में इतिहास देखिए 1757 संख्या समय 30 सेकेंड रु 40 सेकेंड 57 सिपाही 1947 स्वतंत्रता संग्राम एवं 2047 तो चारि कि जो 100 वर्ष व्यवधान तार संग्राम मूलभूमि पाखापाखि 20-30 वर्ष पूर्व पड़ता तेज आज ये आलोचना चक्र हुए तो संग्राम मूलभूमि बढ़ी पारे प्रश्नटी एवं आसी जो विकास संज्ञा गोटे वातावरण कलित ये आलोचना चक्र बाहर कि मो गाँव जाए पहुँचे से लंबड़ा हो जाए एवं से संज्ञा को आम वस्तुवादिता समाजवादिता रू बाहर की आध्यात्मिकता को नहीं पारिबा कि कारण भारत जदि प्रकृत में समस्त को नहीं आगे बढ़िया गोटे चिंता करे एक नुआ दिग दे पार कि पाश्चात्य संज्ञा आम एक नूतन दिग रखिपर कि ये तो कुंभ मेला चलती बहुत जड़े आईआईटी बाला सोशल मीडिया भाइराल होती नुआ दिग युवक मान मिली युवती मान मिली तेज से आम कौन से एक अंक कषिपर कि यह मोर प्रश्न धन्यवाद जय
Thank you.
Because timekeeper is here.
Sir, I have the last question.
Yes, please ask your question.
Sanjeev, be very, very brief.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yes.
Okay.
पूछिए सवाल पूछिए जी पूछिए
Sir, what about the inclusive development of media itself in the country?
Okay.
restored everything. As Sir was pointing out, whatever you search, same related, lots of positive things, whatever is in your mind, you are making kind of a things the AI algorithm suggests you. So at the same time, while we grew up, people of same age group and the same generation. Now, people may be growing at the same time, depending on their own preferences, they are vertically and horizontally divided into many generations on basis of their preferences. And there is no easy solution to this.
What happened to the other mic? There was another mic. Pura. Yeah.
और ये दोनों जो है मेरा है मैं आपको कुछ भेज दूंगा डिटेल्स बाद में अभी मैं सेमिनार में हूँ सेमिनार में अपना कुछ बात
Not shying away from news generally, but reading as a habit. That's where the consumption pattern of news programs as journalists, the first thing that we were taught, I am talking about my generation.
फाउंडेशन
The more you read, the more you write. The better you are going to get at your whatever you do. So, ये वाला जो the responsibility of this can't be put on the youngsters. I mean, this has to come from this is a culture thing. We are evolving. If probably at some point of time would understand that we have destroyed all, not destroyed, then we would use that word. We probably have found easy solutions to probably let's say keep our children engaged by handing them a device, mobile device, than taking him out to a park or outside, play games or engage with people. It's a bigger social problem. Our social skills of the younger generation is so low. They're so engaged with the computer, mobile phones. Penetration of mobile phones being so high, even in remote places, you have to have a mobile phone to register yourself for all the beneficiary schemes, right? All the welfare schemes. So it's a bigger issue and it's going to evolve. That's how it's going to be. You have to probably take this and tackle this challenge again as it emerges. But the only way out of it is through get back to reading. I wish we could force them to read, but that's the only way to do that. Because at some point of time in our generation, our parents, our siblings did force us to read. ये broken करो, ये तो नहीं होगा, right? I mean, that's going to change. And also about the fake news. Somebody was talking about fake news and all that. See, the whole social media and digital media has in a way democratized the scene. So democracy में आपको तो ये झेलना पड़ेगा. So you have to have the right things or the wrong things or the fake things and all that. Couple of days back, one of the WhatsApp groups, there was this video which came up, which was a short video on Instagram which was talking about a village in Odisha which has been painted, all its walls, all its roads have been painted by one particular artist who was the rating of that young guy, artist who painted that village. It's now acquired some kind of a reputation because it's colorful, it exudes creativity, vibrance and all that. So somebody pointed out in that group, where is this? Can you just point to the location of this village? And somebody pointed out this is actually an AI generation. Somebody decided that somebody decided that he can make
settlement society, not in a civilization society. This is the first time. So we all strive for democracy, equality, which we never exist because there is so much inequality in our society, social inequality in our society. So that is number one. Number two, I think I was responding to his question. I understood Oriya in Oriya, but I can't explain in Oriya. I was speaking ahead of you. You club all the movements together, 1857, 2047, if I know you consider it as a movement, then there is another 1947. But you need to understand these are different kinds of movements. There is a social reformist movement. There is a movement per se. As a student of sociology, when we study social movement, we make it very exclusively specific. Now, when you project media, now for instance, as a movement, so when we look at media movement, we talk about reformism. We talk about reformism. We are not making an overall structural change in the system. That's what we need to understand. Now, in that context, now when you say about in what way these movements, I think these are distinct processes. 1857, there is an interesting brigade run. The whole panic during 1857, the failure of British intelligence, and how the indigenous communication systems, the circulation of lotus flowers, and which circulated among us, and that to sustain a movement. That's what it has been well researched now, now to show that how indigeneity. I think Smriti was asking about indigeneity. I think indigeneity now comes up in social sciences in general and communications because after centuries of colonization and also falling within a trap of universalization and enlightenment, here we are trying to talk about how we make our social science communication indigenous. Can there be indigenous knowledge and traditions which can bring in quickly? Finally, I would say regarding reading, you know that we are basically a talking civilization, not a reading civilization. So morality, scripture, Shruti and Stuti, and writing is something which is very dark. People are scared about writing because writing is actually, you are not writing for yourself, you are writing for others. But when I speak to you all and communicate. I think there is a distinction, and obviously we don't read. I think there is a skilling and de-skilling in society. I remember when I was growing here as a student in the school, my father always used to shout at me, don't listen radio, read. But I was loving to listen radio. Now my children, when he came, I never asked about radio, nobody cares radio. He was playing gizmos. So I was trying to bring him. Then he will again get into mobile. Then I snatch away mobile, he will get into something. What I'm trying to say is that, look, these people are faster in adopting. So there is a very interesting final statement I would say that what we think as a kind of pathology is no more pathological. Now pathology is very much normalized. We live in a pathological world. We can't say.
Yes.
Just one word, sir. Is that spirituality is the synonymous of indigeneity? Spirituality is the way forward to actually, I am reading that.
I think it's such a topic which can be talked on and on and on.
I think it will open a new debate.
Yes.
I think we have too much trying to counter spirituality, but there is too much materiality in the spirituality too. What do you think, Kumbh-Mela? Kumbh-Mela is a fun entertainment. What is going on there? Look at the way the whole drama, drone technology and everything. This is all material. It's not symbolic, it's spiritual. We need to understand that behind our spirituality there is too much materiality which is important. You can't segregate that. So you are segregating, so you go and become a Rishi Muni. Why are you here? Remember, it's romanticization. They are not. There are so many ideas. So on. It's proof that they are getting salvation, leaving IIT and completely, going through a proper. You see, don't get completely IIT and went so on. There are so many people are going, so IIT also realizes much later salvation.
So, if I may add a line. much a bigger concept which transcends what you wear or what you do. And
What is a private? These are private. You are making it a public. So now you are giving big, so it is commodified. It's a commodification.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, according to me, actually, जो अभी साल कह रहे थे और आप सब कह रहे थे, social media has changed everything. The culture of reading news. Actually, it is one of the reason is the shift to a new economic model. The mainstream media has actually adopted that model after 1991. They have actually created a balance towards profit. The profit and the responsibility balance and opportunity related towards profit. Whereas in standardization of the content, same content, you read up from newspapers, you will read the same story, similar stories. So this standardization of content is one of the reasons that has eliminated major section of the society from reading the newspapers. One. Second is the use of technology. Technology companies are also adapting the same economic model. They are also trying to sell their technology. As a result, these social media platforms have emerged to fill the fight. This is the result. One thing more, sir has also pointed out that we are creating a echo chamber through the use of algorithms. We are creating an echo chamber because whatever we search throughout the day is being understood by the brain and and that selects content accordingly and feeds to it. That is creating, that is actually understanding what